Eve, you've
Yes.
got as few words as possible. How would you describe and tease this piece for an audience?
There's something in the well.
You are great, man. That should be on the
Because
post.
I'm an actor and I don't work in marketing.
And I know that you said it in a high question mark. There's something in the well?
Well, question mark. That would be my tagline. What about you, Tom? What's yours?
Mine would be, mine would be, you think you know, you really don't.
Yeah, but you have no idea.
Eve, I have been dying to know, how did you prepare for this role?
Well, as you know, I did a lot of preparation. I worked really hard on research. No, I didn't. I got cast really late and I didn't have any time to do much but try to do an English accent.
Yeah, you came on really late. I remember the read through. Weren't you like learning as you went? You were like, oh my God, episode 3 is great.
Literally, they cast me and I was reading the scripts on the plane.
What would have happened if you'd have hated it? Imagine you'd have got to episode 4 and you're like, oh no, turn the plane around.
Yeah, no, I would have done it anyway, just for and gigs, you know. I was excited to be in London and I want to work with you, the opportunity.
That's what I was waiting. They'll cut everything else out. Unlike some of my co-stars, I actually went into a deep dive and I spent several years. No, I'm joking. How did I prepare for this role? Well, I read the scripts in the book and I had a pretty good idea of who I thought David might be. But I think, as you'll know, like I think it was such a piece of reacting in the moment. There wasn't a huge amount of prep to do. And I think I particularly, me and Rob had the brilliant Rob Arameo. We had to do a lot of work on our accent work, which I think really helped. Mary Howland, our brilliant accent coach, she talked not only about sound, but placement of sound and energy. And I think that really helped with that. But I think a lot of it was just to do with like rehearsing. We were so lucky on this, weren't we, that we got 2 weeks rehearsal before we even turned cameras on, which is so, I mean, I don't think I've ever had 2 weeks rehearsal for a TV drama. Usually it tends to be, you know, you can talk things through and stuff.
Okay, so Tom, our show is very intense. It features a very intense disturbed marriage. How do you think our characters' relationship differs from our real life relationship?
Well, it's Eve, isn't it? Yeah. Well, Eve.
Nice to meet you.
What I found, I think I'm pretty sure it was all intentional, but because we started shooting the flashback scenes first in Scotland, I think it really helped because we started with that. It was so fun, and obviously that's exactly how they were. You know, they're these young, these young kids in love, and then we see them 10 years later, and you go, how did you get from that joyful, happy, carefree, lovely couple to that? What's happened? And that's obviously the brings of the drama, and that was really helpful for me because I could play those sort of the later moments of being like horrible to you and just being really cruel and twisted. And it really broke my heart because I remember thinking, God, only a month ago we were sort of sat in Scotland, you know, having a Guinness over looking at that lake and just having a good time. But I think as well, I like working with everyone very much, but I found you very similar in your approach to the work, like me, which is we work very hard, we take it very seriously, but we understand the need for a release in that. Otherwise, the whole piece would just be this heavy ass cannonball. So I think it really helped as well that we could jump in and out of making fun of each other until the cameras roll and then go and just sort of letting loose. I found it a very useful balance.
Yeah, I loved working with you. You know I did.
You know,
I think we got along like a house on fire, right?
nice, because of the story.
No, but we did. We got along really well. And I personally, I know other people are different. Rob Arameo would be different, but I like to get to know the people that I work with. I like to feel comfortable. The best work I do is when I'm relaxed.
I can't wait to see that, by the way.
Enjoy. Hey. So I just enjoyed it. I mean, I just think we had so much fun. I think the more intense the subject matter is, the darker it is, it helps to keep it light in between takes. So I thought we got along really well, and that definitely helped play a very convincing, disturbed relationship. And I was so sad the day you left. Remember, I cried.
You did cry.
And you
That
said,
was bad. Yeah,
I will always love you.
Yeah.
No, but I did think that because we were all kind of like young and sort of, you know, like really excited about doing the show and wanted to get it right. I thought we all had a good sort of back and forth with each other about, you know, helping each other out when we needed it.
Were there any moments that you were like confused or anything like that? Or did you kind of make sense of the story pretty much from day one?
I was not confused actually with the story at all. For some reason, I really understood Adele and who she was and what her motives were. I was more excited by the challenge of, you know, of sort of like playing with reality and playing with the storyline and the audience being, you know, thinking they're being led down one path and then they're actually being led down another. I'd never been able to do that before. So it was more enjoyable rather than, you know, confusing. I never really felt lost.
Yeah, I was kind of the same. There were moments when I thought, why the hell is he doing this? So actually, whenever I'm sort of met with those, and this piece was like full of them, of going, I just don't understand. You've got two paths. Anyone would think go down that path, but you have to make sense of the fact that he doesn't go down that path and takes this sort of bizarre route. But I do think it was so well thought through. I think Steve Lightfoot's adaptation was so great that any turns that made me feel like, wait, I just don't understand this. Once you actually look closely at what's happening in the scene, I think it all works. So even though it's kind of out there narratively, quite a lot of it, I don't think there's ever a moment where an audience will think, that's nah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
What from this experience, Eve, will you carry forward into your next and for years to come?
I think don't overthink it. I think Adele just went down some weird path and I just sort of followed her, like, you know, and I didn't have any time to overthink my choices. So maybe just like work less.
That was great.
Yeah, what did you think the answer was going to be? Working with Tom Bateman and working less.
Sure, like it's the same thing. But like, that's a really good answer. Also, I just love the idea of what did you learn from that really tough experience? Just don't do any work, man. Just
don't do it. I don't know if I have the balls to do it every time, but it was a good learning lesson.
I think it worked for you, man. It was great. I think now that you've said it, I think I don't want to just steal your. Mine is obviously do no work and copy everyone else. Yeah. But I think it kind of reminded me sometimes of doing, like when I've done Shakespeare plays on stage, the stakes are so sort of bizarre and out there, and quite often you've got these sort of supernatural elements which our piece has in it. And to kind of trust in the world and know that the audience will go with it, because I know myself as an audience member, I will watch some crazy ass stuff and you buy it if it's done well. And I think it's just sort of committing to it, even if you think, but this is mental, that there's this sort of other plane and we're communicating with it. It's crazy, that's sort of nuts. But if you think, well, it's only nuts if you flag it up. But if you just buy it, sell it, like I suppose just act well.
Yeah, commit
I suppose commit to it and believe in what you're doing would be a real lesson.